the people that are being accosted, sans the two that have departed, Farron and Hannibal and Morella. As the revelry and initial onslaught of attention begins to wane, what do the three of you do next? When you have a moment to breathe and perhaps go about your business whatever or wherever that may be.
I guess I would get with Farron and ask him if he knows whether everyone is like almost situated to leave.
I want to go check out that library.
Yeah, of course you do.
Hannibal dimension doors into the library that he's never seen before, so he gets stuck inside of a bookshelf and dies.
Suffocation.
That's not how dimension door works.
Breathing.
I know it's. Not
I
how it
checked.
works. I know you can't get.
Doesn't give a
through
fuck
dimension
if he
door.
covers up reading.
It can fucking kill you though if you do it wrong.
Yes, it can. It is possible to do things with it. So Hannibal, you're gonna slip off. Maybe you see like the head. What is his name is probably
Bookman.
The head compiler is probably his title. Because he compiles the information.
You know, it's funny because that means an entirely different thing to me as an IT major.
I know it does. I'm aware. But yeah, the head compiler probably you probably request of him, and he says, "Ah, yes, I will show you immediately, Hannibal D. Solomon. It will be a pleasure to share and exchange knowledge, perhaps."
Sure.
Yeah, and he begins to escort you to your new bat cave. Cool. So, Morella, you muscle through the probably a bunch of noble ladies that are trying to hit on Farron. And they all get out of your way fairly quickly.
Yeah, because it's not like I just like, oh hey, let me tap Farron's shoulder. It's more of Farron voicing my voice.
Yeah.
And it just ringing in the air, and the ladies just move out of the way for me.
Farron's sitting on a patch of grass, just strumming as he's got, arrayed around him a variety of selection.
Forgive me, dear ladies, but it seems my attention is needed. I shall bid you farewell for now. So I give a cheeky wink towards them.
Yeah. One of them faints.
Yes, Marlala. What do you need me for?
The others are ready to leave.
Well, I've procured some rations and such for our journey, so we are good on that front, but I think we just need to gather everyone up if we need to depart immediately.
I would like to. And she kind of like gives you like the stern look of like, kind of with that saying like, maybe you should go do something about that.
Hey,
Well,
I'm his boss.
Oh, I know. And yeah,
perhaps-
she just kind of, yes.
Perhaps right this second would be difficult, but perhaps later this afternoon we may be able to organize ourselves a little easier.
I
Well,
know.
there's no question. It's fucking happening.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, she just kind of like nods, and then yeah, you could tell like she's definitely like in a very pissed off mood. More so than like you've probably ever seen her.
She's upsetty about her spaghetti.
And she doesn't have spaghetti. All right.
Thank you, Will, for laughing.
I got it. But
Again, not funny.
Will, that's why you're my favorite player.
I thought you didn't play favorites.
I don't, unless they laugh at my bad jokes.
Man, you're just like my mom, always saying, we don't play favorites, we don't play favorites.
That's bullshit. All parents have a favorite child.
Yeah, they
All
do.
parents.
Yep. Yep, it was my brother.
I was most definitely the favorite child, so.
The youngest.
Well,
of
that's
mine.
figured.
I was also the oldest, so, I mean, that's kind of a given.
We
Yeah,
all love the
oldest
baby.
was.
That's us.
Anyway. Yeah, so you Farron will get on that task when he is done doing whatever Farron is doing currently.
Yeah, she figures that, like, it's more of, like, she just needs to tell people to, like, be ready. She doesn't want to wait around.
Indeed. Okay. So as Morella departs...
Fuck.
What?
There was one thing. Could I have done this
done
before,
what?
while the party was going? I need to reclaim my writ. And he was here.
You're...
By proof of compensation.
I forgot you even had that.
I made you make it for me. Because I
Um,
wanted to get something out of those things.
Yeah, what was that for again? Because I totally forgot.
The poisons.
Oh, right. Yes, you do have a writ of payment for that. That's right, because I did take it from you. Right.
You really did realize that I was going to use it. I was without a doubt going to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
It was 25 gold.
yeah, absolutely. You can totally get 25 gold. Congratulations.
Yeah. And, probably, while this is going on, Marilla is going to just seek out the others. During this. So, like, even though she told Farron, hey, get the others, she's gonna do it also.
Right, yeah. Farron is clearly indisposed, so if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. So you head off, and the others are relatively hard to find, Morella.
Oh, I know that.
They've all kind of separated and gone their separate ways. Farron was obviously the easiest, being the center of attention as he is. And
What's one
Noct is still there. There's probably a few children that are like sliding down his tail scales at this point. He's enjoying it. He's loving the shit out of it.
I mean, I pay him no attention, because
Stupid knocked.
he's not stupid.
Humans and stuff.
No, it's more of...
Noct loves
he's-
all things that don't try and stab him.
Yeah,
This is very
it's more
true.
of like he's a engageable
Stupid
creature?
knocked. Loving humans and stuff.
Yep.
It's more of like he can't speak with, so
he's
like
the yin to
he
your
just-
yang.
He
Yeah,
is
you can't
the
speak-
yin
you
to
can't-
my yang.
You can't speak with Noct, obviously, and he probably won't listen to you either, because he's Noct,
Yep.
and he doesn't...
That's right. Because you're not me.
He doesn't listen to you either, Hannibal.
He can understand me, though.
I mean,
No, he doesn't.
He barely listens to Kree, if we're being honest. So
Yeah.
he only listens to Kree because it's fun. That's basically it.
And you know, we're kind of linked by souls, but whatever. It's
Right.
it's
There's that whole thing, but you know, whatever.
But anyways,
Yeah, okay, so you begin heading off in the direction of trying to find everyone.
Yep.
Cool. So let's go over to Aelin real quick. Aelin, you were able to like kind of, maybe you found like maybe you brought like your cloak or whatever, so you could like wrap it around you and maybe put the hood up so you can not be as visible and kind of blend into the crowd as you do. Where are you headed? What are you doing?
Well, after hearing a bit more about Anders and having a bit of the situation more explained to her via Petrov and Marilla, ever since then she just has this overwhelming feeling of dread and worry for her person, and that's all she's been able to think about since then.
Yeah.
And so I think she had been waiting all day to try to sneak away to make sure that she could communicate to make sure that everything was okay.
Okay. So we see you maybe settle down and like in an alleyway or something, and you pull out your device and begin doing the thing, and it glows faintly. there's a long minute, right? Like a long, agonizing 30 to 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And you receive a reply. And I'll tell you what that is in secret. Because I'm an asshole.
More of we love the intrigue, so.
Yeah, totally. Cool. And once you receive, it is of, it does satiate your desire to obtain knowledge that everything is okay. So that maybe puts you in a better mood. And by okay, I mean that, alive, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody's getting shanked right now.
Yeah, okay by alive. There's obviously a lot of bad shit going on, but okay
Yes.
by yes, I am still alive.
Clearly, I understand that okay is the best I can expect. So that is all.
Indeed. But there will be minor details that I'll give you that you can pass on when you link up with the party again. Cool.
Yeah, and other than inquiring, I would also just tell them that we are immediately leaving north. So.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Do you mention any of the events that occurred, or would you find that not important to him?
I would absolutely mention it in the guise of why our delay.
Sure.
Because I'm sure that would have come up, but she would not have said it in a way that she thought it was important, merely a piece of information that was preventing them from executing their task faster.
Cool. All right. Excellent. And then beyond that, are you just simply going to perhaps go find a nice quiet place to rest?
Indeed.
Okay, cool. Kree, what are you doing after you were able to slip away? And you probably pulled a similar tactic to Aelin, where you pull the cloak around so they can't really see you're a lizard, and then pull your hood up.
I'm going to go to one of the more damaged parts of town and just start breaking stuff.
Okay.
Like, Kree doesn't get angry very easily, but when he does, it needs to vent or someone's going to die.
Sure. Cool, yeah. So you can go to like one of the like destroyed parts of town down in the slums area, and maybe we get a montage of you like punching signposts and, you know, building structure and breaking it.
No, this is like
biting it and ripping it in half. And,
yeah, there we go.
Yeah. You're doing the Captain America where you split the log with your arms.
This is just like feral rage. It's bad.
I was just thinking it was like the more violent version of the Footloose dance scene.
Dun, 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 dun.
Crash.
Great.
Yep. It's great. It's perfect. It's amazing. So, as you, that's totally a thing that you can do, and you're ranting and raging. And how long would that venting take?
Cold-blooded creature, 2 hours.
Okay, all right. So
minimum.
At least 2 hours to get all of it out of your system. Okay, so you'll be indisposed for some amount of time doing that. Maybe there will be rumors of some building being haunted at some point in the future, but you'll be relatively safe doing that because all those people are dead.
All of them.
So, I guess the most important thing is we get back to Hannibal.
Yeah, of course.
So Hannibal, you're led down into the archives, and the head compiler, he actually presents you with a key that unlocks the archives down below the estate, below the castle. Because you're authorized to come in here whenever you want.
Awesome.
And so he presents you with a key, and he says, if I may be of any assistance, or, again, if we relish the exchange of information. If we can provide you with something and you have further information on it, it will only help grow our archives for future users.
All right, I wouldn't mind telling you some interesting things I've learned concerning demons and their interaction with demons.
Yeah, and so, like, notably, everyone else in the setting would probably flinch when you said that and consider it to be heresy. But he nods and he's like, yes, demons. They are quite the plague.
I've learned that they actually react very strangely when in contact with Weirdstone.
Interesting, yes. I think that we may be able to have a bit of symbiosis here. And he says, follow me, and he unlocks the door, and he opens it up, and you hear as the door opens, and we can see rows and rows of bookshelves, and kind of the faintly acrid smell of, like, alchemical solutions starts, like, wafting through. There's, like, a faint kind of haze in here, where you can see, like, there's clearly been maybe experimentation or something, but it is it's a treasure trove of just all kinds of devices you could ever want to use, all kinds of tools or information on how to do things. Hannibal, you realize very quickly you could spend a lifetime in here and not obtain all of the knowledge that is currently here.
Mm-hmm. Hannibal feels genuinely happy for the first time in many.
Yeah, totally. Get the fire effects right. Jesus. You guys are horrible.
I don't think he's going to let me take an alchemy set.
Maybe. We'll see.
But first off, though...
The main thing is he doesn't have black powder anymore. Let's be honest. He doesn't have black powder that he's doing experiments on an unknown substance and rolls a 1, okay?
Yeah, he's just in a giant room full of really dry books.
Yeah, totally.
I ask him, do you have any literature concerning the Fae, namely very powerful entities? I've found the Fae to be an interesting subject in regards to many things.
Yes, some would consider that they are perhaps daemons themselves, but they are more akin to nature than those. And I notice in my studies that they promote growth most of the time as opposed to destruction. In fact, some like myself, although not in so many circles, and he kind of like leans in when he says that, all like mysterious, would call them perhaps the counterbalance to the daemons.
The opposite end of chaos.
Yes, but not quite lawful, let's say. Just the counter.
I see what you mean.
Think of it as a triangle, Hannibal. If we as humanity and all of the races that are sentient are here at the top, to the left and bottom we have the daemons, and to the right and bottom we have the Fae. That is how I view it, at least.
It's a very interesting view.
Come.
I'll keep it in mind.
Let me show you perhaps what we may have. And he escorts you in and begins walking you through the long rows of bookshelves.
Yay! Like Hannibal's like actually sound all dignified, but in the inside it's like
yeah, it's we get the image of Hannibal's brain, and it's like from the movie Inside, where we like flash in through his eyes to his brain, and all of his emotions are like hitting all the red buttons that exist in the brain. Like, go do this, no, go do this, no, go do this. We gotta look at this, we gotta look at this, we gotta look at this now this, now this, now this. Yeah.
You see that chemical set? Blow it the fuck up.
Yeah. Even anger is like pushing buttons on things that will make things angry. Just straight up from the movie Inside. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Hannibal, I assume, will probably have some talking to do, perhaps offline about that, because I could spend ages telling you a whole bunch of stuff in here, but...
Yeah, we'll just have a conversation later about all the stuff that I'm fucking asking.
Totally. So we get into Morella. You're searching for everyone. You suspect Hannibal went to go do his thing.
Yeah.
You suspect you know where Farron's in, where Farron is, and you suspect probably Arcadi is schmoozing with nobles somewhere. Right? That's what he does. And I think that as you kind of are like walking around, you're kind of like left alone. Your demeanor is kind of like maybe repelling the people who would normally come up and talk to you.
Yeah, it's off-putting.
And I think that from we see you hear a voice, and it says, "Oi, love." And you look up, and you see the woman that came in, Lady Sylar, and she's sitting, kind of with one of her legs dangling, in like the crook of a tree, and she has an apple, and she's just eating it, and she's like, "What you doing?"
Finding the others.
She kind of like takes a big bite of the apple and starts to chew on it a little bit, and she looks and she's like, "Those others that was with you."
She nods.
Which one are you looking for first?
She kind of like raises an eyebrow, but like gets what the meaning she is saying. I'm looking for the priestess. I know where most of them are.
Surprisingly, that one seems to be the hardest one to track. Takes a big bite of apple, you hear a crunch as she rips it off. She chews it, she's like... She kind of lazily like points her finger. She says, "She went that way. Somewhere... Well... somewhere in the crowd. Looks like she was heading back towards the water."
Yeah, the moment she pointed with her finger, Morello was just off.
Okay, yeah, and as you go, we see her, she kind of like looks, she tosses the apple, she like bends her legs over the tree branch and kind of like flings like downward, so she's upside down, and then with the momentum like lands on her feet, almost cat-like. And we see her stand up and she kind of like dusts her legs off, and she begins to follow you.
Okay. Yeah,
She's just kind of like walking alongside of you.
Morella probably notices this, but doesn't say anything. She keeps to herself.
Okay, cool. And that's a perfect place probably to switch over to Arcadi coming out of the park area. And you can see that the bleachers, there were two sets of the bleachers. One of them has been rolled out, and the other one is still there. And you can see like there's a bunch of men kind of like sitting there like with their fists on their chins, like kind of like waiting for something. And we see seated in the bleachers is still Lady Sylar and the butler. And Lady Sylar's just sitting there, and she's got like her feet kicked up, and so you can see like kind of the old woman ankles underneath her dress. And she's just sipping wine. And like as you walk up, you can see her like she motions, she locks eyes with you. And she has more wine poured, and then takes another sip, and I assume you approach her sitting on the bleachers.
Lady Sylar, I am so glad I was able to find you.
Well, I wasn't going anywhere. Took me long enough to walk down here in the first place.
No, and of course the atmosphere is so convivial.
Well, too many people.
Is that not always the way? But please, I do not know if you have yet had the chance to meet your newest peer. I meant to ask her first name.
Brianna is her first name.
May I have the honor of presenting to you Lady Brianna Nevernight?
Ah, yes, Nevernight. One of the things that escaped my notice. And she kind of like shoots a dirty look at the butler almost. Like she kind of like looks at him. And you see him like kind of hang his head a little bit. Almost as if he did something wrong in this instance. But God knows what he did wrong. Like how is he supposed to fucking know this was going to happen, right?
He's supposed to do better.
Right, yeah. It's, yep. And she looks back and she says, "Good stock, this one."
Yes, unfortunately she is somewhat adrift.
Shame about the money.
Yes, yes it is. She has a brother as well that is slightly older, who I believe may be relevant to her immediate future. But I felt that as newest member of Null's nobility, she would do well to have a friend in you, and that you might take an interest in her introduction to higher society. Yes?
I think as throughout the course of you speaking, she begins to smile, and she actually sets her wine glass down and kind of like steeples her fingers a little bit, and she nods and she says, Petrov, I always knew asset acquisition was one of your strong suits. Yes, she could do well. Easily malleable, that's good. Perhaps we can train her properly. And when she says that, she kind of like shoots a glance at some other people have noticed that you've come out and that Nevernight is there, Lady Nevernight is there, and like they're kind of like, you know, lurking in the shadows, like waiting for their moment to move in, but they dare not approach Lady Sylar. And she kind of like shoots a glance over there, like when she emphasizes properly, and she says, "Yes, girl, come here." And you can see Lady Nevernight. She's very like kind of taken aback, but does as she's commanded, as she has always done her entire life. And she kind of like scrambles up onto the bleachers, and you see Lady Sylar, and it's probably a little disconcerting perhaps, but with a gentle hand she kind of like lifts up her chin. She says, good features. And she kind of like wipes what looks like maybe a streak of dirt or maybe like a tear streak away. She says, don't worry, girl, we'll take care of you. Here, have a seat. Would you like some wine? And the girl goes, no, thank you, Lady Sylar. Well, we'll have to change that at least. And she picks up her wine glass and begins drinking again. And she looks at Arkady and she says, you put me in an interesting predicament, Mr. Petrov. You have given me something and I have given you nothing.
I believe this merely brings our accounting closer to balance, yes? And of course, we have yet to escort the lady as previously agreed.
Don't call her a lady. She's the furthest thing from it.
I would not pretend to know. I think Arkady wants to sidle in and still speak to Nevernight a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Lady Sylar is content to just have her there and in her sight.
Yeah. So, Arkady will try to speak in a low voice so that hopefully Sylar can't overhear too much, although, I don't know, she probably has bad hearing. But basically he wants to say, I believe that while she may be unnecessarily curt, her lack of pretension and her considerable clout in city will be of great service to you. And I would say, while I imagine her advice to be very valuable, you did well to refuse the wine. It would not do to let her think she has complete control over you.
Yeah, and I think she kind of like nods and she's like, okay, I will do my best, Ambassador.
And I suspect in the months to come, you'll meet a great many other people who wish to tell you what your own mind should be. I recommend that perhaps you continue to carry your arm at your side. He gestures to the rolling pin.
Sure.
And remember that whatever they may think, you are the one who earned your title, yes?
Yeah, and she kind of like, there's a moment of like the hesitation and into like that kind of aggressive sadness, into a little bit of pride, and she kind of like sticks out her chest and she's like, thank you, Ambassador. You are a kind man. I seek only to better serve the Ice Queen. I hope that in time
you will have opportunity to see why it feels like why she is so grand.
She kind of she nods firmly, and she says, "I will make it one of my pledges."
Score.
New servant of the Ice Queen.
Well, no, she's not from my country. I'm not just gonna let her in.
Man, we've done a lot of shit today and gotten a lot of stuff.
Indeed.
Yep, it's good times.
Indeed.
Hey, finger guns.
Finger guns. Cool. So, with that, before you depart Arkady, which I assume is where you were headed to go perhaps do something else, Lady Sailor says, "Hold a moment, Petrov."
Of course.
My eyes, as good as they are, deceive the feeling within some of the hearts of some of my acquaintances. This new one that travels with you, she is perturbed. Is there information that you wish to share? Is she...
You refer to Aelin,
Yes.
Lady Ash River.
Yes,
Perturbed. Yes. There are so many things that perturb her. She is remarkably capable of maintaining her composure, but what have you heard of Middenheim?
Her eyebrow kind of arches, and she says, "To tell you all would take quite a bit more time than I have left alive, Petrov."
What have you heard of Middenheim of late?
Not much, I say. My wings have been clipped a little bit as of late.
Well, I suspect the news will be spreading further soon enough, but we go now to meet with Imperial Army marching north.
Yeah, and probably for the first time you see her perhaps lose her composure, and her eyebrows kind of furrow, and she stares downward for a moment. And you can see the concentration on her face, and as her eyebrows are furrowed and she stares down, and then almost as quickly as it came, she takes another sip of wine and she says, "Well, it appears there are things better than the Skaven. Although I can say that I know not what. Them rat bastards." She kind of spits on the ground, a glob of reddish spittle because it's all wine induced.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's be real. It's not spit. It's wine.
It's basically just wine. Yeah.
She wouldn't waste wine. Out of curiosity, Lady Sylar.
That's a good point.
Out of curiosity, Lady Sylar, did you ever meet the Paragons?
I think that she's taken aback a little bit, and she kind of has that one eye is a bit narrowed, "Why are you asking?" She says, "I have met a few of them. Yes. To which do you speak?"
I have not yet had the opportunity to speak with any, but I feel there is a great deal that very few people have learned, would have noted about the man they call Wilhelm. And as I believe I may have opportunity to speak with him shortly, I would be very curious to know what you would make of him.
The Brett, huh? He's a daft boy. Of that is true. Too big for his own shoes, I say. Riding on the backs of others, although he never took that kindly.
What do you mean of this? Is my understanding that Wilhelm was known for obviously the efforts of the Paragons as a whole, but also considerable achievements of his own accord.
I think, yeah, she kind of like, she leans in and gets like kind of real close. You can almost smell the wine coming off of her breath, and she says, the stories. They're told by the victors, I'm told. Well, sometimes the losers don't die. And she kind of like, she nods and she says, perhaps you are ready. I will contact someone. See if they can meet you in this Middenheim, which I assume is where you travel to.
Precisely.
And she kind of like, she leans back and she says, one thing about Anders that I will tell you. He always surrounds himself with an eclectic group of individuals. He himself is probably not the most dangerous. And she takes a sip of wine and kind of signals like the end of the conversation.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you. I will look to your emissary.
She just nods and she says, very well. Perhaps this will be a well-deserved payment. And she kind of like pats Nevernight on the top of the head like you would a dog or a child.
Oh, I did my best for her.
You tried.
You sold her.
You fed a sheep to the wolf.
Hey, I found the one person who would not be pretentious at all.
And truly the one person that will teach her what she needs to know, to be honest.
I cannot wait to see Lady Nevernight in like 3 months. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Are you talking about my dear mother?
Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome.
So I think that's it for Petrov, yeah.
All right.
You just corrupted a 14-year-old that still calls her mom mommy.
Mama.
Hey, that 14-year-old killed like 12 monsters.
It's true.
She's old enough to handle herself.
Welcome to Fantasy Boys. Bingo.
Indubitably. Cool. Awesome. So, I think that another scene that we see is Farron. The night is the day is growing older. And have you moved from the courtyard area? Have you been traversing through the town at all? Are you riding on the backs of those that carry you?
Yeah, I've been kind of like wandering through, just meeting people all over the place. Still being very speaking with many individuals. They're all, of course, very happy to see me.
Yeah, no, everybody loves you.
What I love most.
Absolutely,
So,
everybody adores you.
So yeah, perhaps I've gone to a small little bar for some late afternoon drinks.
Perfect. Awesome. And so I assume you've been carrying around your lute and playing it and strumming it as it were.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, so as you're doing it, you're riding around, a trail of people following you to each different tavern, giving your adieus and whatever. You're being passed drinks and accepting them, and there is at one point as you're like passed a drink and you're drinking it and then you finish it and you're passed another one and you drink that one, there is a sense of like a strange, almost nauseating feeling that passes over you, and you pull the cup away from your mouth and you look inside of it, and it appears that the head of the ale is still bubbling slightly.
Is this where I make constitution rolls?
You actually don't have to. Because in your head, it plays through in your head, like your inner voice. You hear the chords of the lute begin to play. And the nauseated feeling kind of swims around a little bit and then quells. And you're just left staring at the inside of this mug. But you feel fine.
Push it. Just keep drinking.
What do you do? Like there might be somebody like, you know, maybe it's kind of like, you know, you phased out, like with the music playing in your head, it's like all fading in, all kind of distorted, like Farron, are you okay? And like you're snapped back to reality.
Aye, yes. It seems that I may have drank a little too quickly these past few rounds. Perhaps I'll hold off on this drink.
Okay. Do you wonder how that got there? Or
Yeah,
are you or are you too concerned with what just happened?
Who was the one that gave me this drink?
Roll a perception check.
Oh, gee.
It's gonna be hard.
I just know that. Did someone try to poison Farron?
Oh.
I'm still feeling a little groggy.
Yeah, you're. It's like the tinkling sounds of the lute are just fading out of your head, and you're like trying to shake it off, and you're surrounded by so many people that like people are like clapping you on the shoulder, and like there's probably more drinks being poured out of the mugs and whatever, and like people are like, you know, probably trying to pass you more. Yeah, you have no idea who passed you this drink.
Yeah, I refrain from drinking for a time, and anytime I do, I like smell each drink. And
Yeah, you're being like super paranoid now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totes. Also, that is a good suspicion, Jackson. I know nobody answered you, but I will.
No, like I'm sorry if I spoke out of turn. I had to answer an email, and I was just kind of zoned back in, and somebody goes,
That does appear to seem what may have happened.
Rip.
try to get me down here, locked in probably one of the most secure places in Nuln.
That's a true statement.
True.
That is a true statement.
If I'm ever back in Nuln, I'm not getting an inn. I'm sleeping here.
Just sleeping here, yeah, totally. Hey, you know what? There's probably a bunch of like couches and lounge chairs so that people who are reading extensive tomes or scrolls can like relax a little bit. So yeah, that's totally something you could do. You could probably even have the servants deliver food because you're like anything in this room you own now, basically.
You wait, what?
Basically anything in this room you own, right? Because you're allowed to access it at any point. People will start to ask questions if stuff starts to go missing, but
okay.
Like
you be very careful with what you say with that.
You possess shared ownership with everybody else who has access to this room. How's that?
Dimension stores, bookcases at a time, and I take this, and I take this.
No, it just I could totally imagine just Hannibal going like, "This book is mine. This book is mine. This is mine. All this is mine. All that shit we're working on, mine."
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you wanted to take a book, it would simply be like probably telling the head compiler like, hey, I need to take this for some study, and he'd be like, okay, which one is it? Okay, cool, yeah, we'll make sure we can have that knowledge on hand if anybody asks for it while you have it.
All right, cool.
So yeah,
just don't die with it on your person.
Right, yeah, like that's the thing, is like it's a risk, but you've been given the authority to do that. Because
what are they gonna do to him if he dies with it, though? Like, I feel like library fines are at that point a minor concern.
Yeah, no, like, what do I give a shit if I die?
It's more they would then beskirmish your whole family for giving secrets to whatever killed you.
That isn't in a family.
See?
They're dead.
See? Less risk. Less risk. It's perfect.
Mama, Papa, aren't you in heaven? Aren't you proud? I won't besmirch your family name because you're already dead.
No.
Cool. Yeah. So Aelin, did you head back to the inn after you were done with that? Is that what you said, or were you heading to somewhere else?
Yes. Yeah, back to the inn.
All right. So you arrive back at the inn, and there is some revelry going on here, but it hasn't quite reached this part of the city yet. It's kind of staying towards the noble rings a little bit more right now. And it's relatively quiet. You can see Albert as you walk in. His eyes go up and he just nods once, and he goes back to cleaning a glass or whatever he was doing previously. There's a couple of patrons in here who are just kind of drinking. There's probably one drunk that slept overnight and didn't go home and didn't get kicked out. Albert's generally a nice tavern keeper, and you have a few minutes to yourself. And I have a question. Are you wearing your bracelet?
I haven't taken it off since I was given the gift.
Cool. So you're wearing your bracelet, and maybe you get some lunch or whatever brought to you at a table, or maybe you go up to your room, wherever you are. But your wrist begins to feel warm and heavy. And as you look at it, you can see that the orbs, the gemstones, the 3 different colored gemstones, they're beginning to glow and almost pulsate. And the warmth isn't like a burning; it's almost like a like turning the heat on in your car on a cold day, where it's kind of like warming you up. Like you weren't cold to start with, but you feel it kind of creeping through your body, like up your arm and kind of down, and it's kind of a relaxing, nice feeling. It's like getting into a hot tub, right? What do you do when this begins to occur?
I think I would take it off and hold it in my hand and see if it still does that.
Yeah, so as long as you are in contact with it, it continues to like be warm and kind of have that feeling of like being dipped in warm water, or, you know, on a cold day, that relaxing kind of, not blast of heat, but that little bit of radiating heat throughout your body.
So, yeah, she would do the test of putting it on the table, realizing that it's not the same. It goes innate, as it were.
Right. Yep. As soon as you set it down, the orbs begin to like fade, and you don't feel the warmth anymore.
Yeah, I think that she would slide it back on her wrist, and then in the same way that she invokes her own magic from her deity, I think that she would attempt to do the same as if casting a spell.
Right. Channeling magic through it to cast a spell instead of through your focus, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So like trying to channel it through the bracelet instead of how she normally does.
Right. Totally. You receive some knowledge that I will present to you. Mechanically, what this is you have had this bracelet works a little bit differently. You've had the bracelet long enough now that you are given some information on what it might be, or what it might do, or at least how to use it. You will not know perhaps what it contains or what it can possibly do, but you're given a snippet of information that I will relay to you.
Man, all this not after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just know Jordan hates me.
Notice, Hannibal, you actually received a lot of information on how it works prior to the 2 weeks. And then the 2 weeks was just that last little bit of information. Remember?
Prior to 2 weeks. A week and 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome.
So many sessions, though.
It's okay. You guys will be traveling soon. It'll happen to everybody. The last scene that I want to do real quickly is Morella and this woman.
Yep.
You guys are walking, and the woman begins to whistle a little bit as they're walking, and she's kind of like kicking stones a little bit and skipping.
Yep.
And have you still not said a word to her? She's just like following you, uninvited.
Yeah. Of course, the following words would be, "Why do you follow me?"
Yeah. She kind of like looks and she's like, "What? 'Cause I was told to, dummy."
Yeah, and she stops and looks at her, and it's like, "You were told to?
Aye.
By whom?"
By whom? By the one that owns you, of course. Lady Sylar.
She scoffs when she says the word owns.
She gives like a kind of airy hand gesture. She's like, the illustrious, wonderful, wine-induced coma, Lady Sylar.
She does not own me.
She kind of like taps the side of her nose and she's like, that's where you're wrong.
She raises an eyebrow.
She owns me. This much is true.
How does she own you?
Secrets. No, I think not.
I merely ask.
I merely tell. I think not. Perhaps, if you gain my trust.
I have no reason to be dishonest with you.
Nor I you.
She nods at that, and she's like, so, is the priestess actually this way?
Huh, I have no clue. But I assume we were going back to your inn.
She nods. Yes, I need a distraction.
Here, have an orange. And she tosses you a piece of fruit, seemingly concocted from nowhere.
Yeah, immediately as the, like, orange lands in her hand, it's immediately, like, squashed. Like, just squashed within her fist.
Hey now, I spent a lot of time trying to get that.
I'm sure.
How would that nice young merchant know if you just squashed his free fruit? Tisk, Morella. Come, let us be off. And
yes.
She shoves her hands into her pockets and begins whistling again as she continues. Seemingly she knows her way to the galleon and the knoll.
Did she sing the theme to the Andy Griffith show? Yeah.
Of course.
I can't whistle anymore.
And I head back to the inn. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that in the midday sun, we see the two of you walking down the road. And we probably see this woman whip out like another apple from seemingly nowhere and begins to eat it. As you guys continue walking. And I think that is a great place to stop for the night.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
as Kree still tears apart an entire city.
Yeah.
Give us that fatty experience, the whole fucking ton of it.
Yes, experience. Actually, Jackson, you missed the big experience train.
Yeah, you did.
I thought that the thing we were doing was that after you got level 5, you still got a portion.
What?
I did not hear any of this.
Or is that with dealing with new characters?
That's dealing with new characters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brand new characters. I'm not gonna make you start at the beginning of the level because it's dumb.
Yep.
Okay, that's what it was. All right.
But
you missed last week.
Everybody can have 1,500 experience.
Oh god, that's horrible.
I'm not doing math, but that's how much you can have. I've actually done the math to figure out when we're going to be approaching something that I want. So,
what's everybody else's current experience at?
As I believe Farron is the highest, and
yeah, I'm 1 or 2 sessions away,
and Kree is the lowest actually.
I am at 55,699.
You're so close to me.
I'm about 6,100. So.
Yeah.
Good God. I'm at 5,600. 56,000.
Well, I haven't missed a session, technically.
Yeah,
I missed 2.
62,000. So.
I missed 2, and I think it was for the same fucking reason, the LSATs.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, so now I got the fucking, and I think both times it was like a boss encounter.
Yeah. So I know there wasn't a lot of opportunity to use inspiration in this game, but as an additional boon for completing all of the quests and doing all of the cool roleplay, everybody can mark off inspiration if they don't already have it.
Fuck yeah.
Well, that would have been useful kind of 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, Farron. Did you not want to die to poison? I'm sorry.
Aelin will bring you back, probably.
Maybe. Which is another thing, Arkady. I didn't know if you wanted to go find Aelin and see what you can do about Nevernight's mother, but we can see about that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, it depends on how much time we've got. I'm reasonably confident that Lady Sylar would also help if it's possible.
True, yeah. She has her own methods of doing things. Excellent. So I'm going to do outro. Can you guys stand by for like 2 minutes? Just
I mean,
something.
You're
to
not
say.
my boss.
Okay, talk to you guys in a couple minutes.
Yep.
All right, stream and YouTube, welcome. Glad you made it to the end. We are done with today's session. I know, it's sad days for all. Lots of role-playing, not a whole lot of dice rolling. Glad everybody could show up and help us out. The party all got new toys that we're going to find out about and be awesome. And that's it. That's all for us. Catch us every week, Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for more Siege of the Empire. I forgot what the name of the show was. It's fine, we figured it out. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, or if you're on YouTube, continue watching. There's probably another episode, like right now. And that's all I got. I hope you all, from all of us to you, go into the dungeon with lots of supplies and try not to die.